Are we live? What up, people? It's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast. And I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Don One. Welcome to another edition. I believe this is episode 4 of Too Early for This Podcast. All right. Now, if you are subscribed to me on my YouTube channel as well as my social media handles, I inform the masses out there. Unfortunately, it was beyond my control. I was unable to upload too early for this podcast this week. Your boy was mad busy. I had some other obligations I had to take care of. And I took care of those obligations. And I said to myself, we might as well just crack open a too early for this podcast for this week. Okay, now for those out there who are avid watchers or listeners to Too Early to This podcast, there might be some changes down the road for Too Early for This podcast. We may have to do it on a different time. We're definitely going to have to do it on a different day. It's beyond my control, but your boy got other responsibilities and obligations, all right? I will let you guys know in the videos on YouTube, as well as the community tab, as well as my social media handles of what's going on and what's transpiring for Too Early for This podcast, all right? Now, without further ado, let's get into today's topics. The first topic I want to get on and click with you guys out there is your boy going through some stuff, all right? And I want to talk about Top of the Mook podcast. Jesus Christ. It seems like a lot of people out there who are fans of either Top of the Mook podcast or Mr. Organic or Tall Guy Slim. It seems like a lot of you guys out there were triggered by my previous video about Top of the Mook podcast. I went into detail talking about Top of the Mook podcast, and I told you guys I'm gonna be completely transparent and honest with you guys. I just don't think Top of the Mook podcast, that's not it. That's not going to be the one that's clicking, all right? And the reason why I said that was, one, I feel like Slim Dog as well as Mr. Organic, these guys are very entertaining in the YouTube atmosphere, but in the podcast lane, a lot of people are not going to get it, all right? And I talked about it. And I also said it's an oversaturated market. Let's just be fair. Let's be honest out there. The podcast space is a huge landscape. I mean, it's filled with podcasts. Everyone has a podcast. I got a podcast, which, by the way, go check out. I'm Chris Down One podcast on Spotify as well as iTunes if you want to get familiar with my podcast. But everyone has a podcast. You know, I got a podcast. You got a podcast. They got a podcast. We got a podcast. Everyone, your mammy, your pappy, everybody has a podcast. All right. And I felt like that wasn't the lane to me. Mr. Organic and Tall Guy Slim should have bought it. I just felt like it's an oversaturated market. Plus, I just don't think Top of the Mook podcast is going to be better than already established podcasts. I went to Joe Rogan. I referred to Joe Rogan. I referred to Joe Button. I referred to DJ Academics. There's a lot of podcasts out there. B. Simone has a podcast. Timothy the Ghetto has a podcast. Everyone has a podcast, all right? And even though they started last year, it's still a fairly new podcast. And let's just be fair, let's be honest out there. I just don't feel like a lot of people are feeling the podcast environment because it's oversaturated. And I feel like it's going to get, the Top of the Mook podcast is going to get to a point where people say, okay, you know, I'm not feeling it, and I got too many other podcasts that I'm subscribed to that I listen to. Now, I feel like the Top of the Mook podcast visually is cool, but the majority of your listener base is going to listen to your podcast as they go on with their busy day, as they go to the gym, as they go to the club, I mean, whatever. All right. And I just don't think visually that's going to translate for a listening audience. Right. That's my correct terminology about Top of the Mook podcast. I didn't say Top of the Mook podcast suck. I didn't say Top of the Mook podcast was dog water. I didn't say none of that stuff. I just said the obvious. I just don't believe the social media is, or the podcast universe is ready for yet again another podcast that they want to listen to. Now, I also critique them by saying, also, I feel like Top of the Mook podcast should be less about Slim and Mr. Organic and more so about who they're going to interview. And I feel like they also should have a third wheel there. It could be a male or a female. I don't care. But they need a third wheel in there with some type of journalistic expertise as far as, preparing themselves on questions that the listening audience might want answers to. Because, let's just face it, Slim and Mr. Organic, they just go in, hit the record button, no preparation, no studio time preparation. They just go straight off the dome. Sometimes that works, sometimes that don't work. But in a podcast space, you have to have your stuff sort of prepared so your partner know which direction you go. And it'd be many times where Mr. Organic will be on one level of the conversation, and Slim will be on another end. It just doesn't connect with those two guys. I'm not saying those two guys' chemistry is off balance. I just feel like one don't know what the other one wants to talk about. All right, so that's my that's my 2 cents on Top of the Mook podcast. I'm not hating on it. A lot of people hit that when I critique the Top of the Mook podcast video. A lot of people got in the comment sections and got into their feelings, talking about, well, they're doing better numbers than me. Well, they should do better numbers than me. All right, they absolutely, positively should do better numbers than me. And to me personally, I take it as, if I'm Slim or Mr. Organic, I would take offense to you guys comparing Top of the Mook podcast to your boy. All right. If I was those guys, I would say, look here, wait a minute. We don't even know this guy, and y'all comparing him to us. All right. Organic is, here we go. Organic is the biggest. Yeah, we got all that. I really do appreciate everyone that's hitting it up in the comment section. Organic, yeah, we know his his situations, all right, but I'm more so on Top of the Mook podcast. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We ran into some technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys heard me, but the podcast went down momentarily. But nevertheless, I'm the best. We're about to get into it and address it again, my friends. So that's that on the Top of the Mook podcast. I have no ill wishes for the Top of the Mook podcast. I was just giving you guys my opinion. I was giving you guys my review of Top of the Mook podcast. And I clearly stated in that video, I feel like the podcast landscape is oversaturated. It's just way too many podcasts to indulge into. I feel like that market is full, even though this is their second season. It's still a fairly new podcast, and it's going to struggle with the DJ Academics, all those type of podcasts. Joe Rogan, Joe Button, a lot of podcasts that have already claimed their mark in this podcast atmosphere. All right. But yeah, that's all I got for the Top of the Mook podcast. All right. So let's go on and move on into other things. And I do apologize. I had like 4 people listening, and now I don't have anybody because I ran into some technical difficulties. I do apologize for those out there. But yeah, let's get into YouTube. Man, YouTube is the Sahara Desert. Okay, YouTube is the Sahara Desert. Okay, ain't nothing popping in these YouTube streets. Okay, I feel like one is summertime. I feel like a lot of these content providers, they consider the summertime as their vacation, particularly the most successful ones. They'll do videos here and there, but in the most part, in the large grand scheme of things, this is their time where they take some time off. And you got a lot of YouTube influencers, YouTube content creators trying to reestablish and switch the game up. You got Kylie Muscle, CJ on 32s, Rail to Real. You got Mr. Organic. You got tall guy, uh, tall guy review. You got a lot of these guys, Cali Muscle. You got a lot of these guys that are trying to reestablish and try to still entertain the audience that they have, but gather a new audience by incorporating a lot of stuff to their YouTube channels. All right. Now the big wave is I'm selling my cars. Okay. I'm selling my cars because of the lifestyle. It's too much. Okay, it's too expensive. I'm selling my cars because I'm getting into a house. Okay, everybody's got a reason why they're selling their cars. But let's just be fair. Let's be honest. I clearly explained this to you guys in a video a couple of weeks back. Uh, you know, Everyone is feeling the pinch in this recession. You, me, CEOs, you got actors, actresses, you got athletes, you got even content providers. Everyone is feeling this pinch that we call a recession. All right, the recession is real, folks, and that's what's going on and that's what's popping now. Despite what they tell you, it is what it is. But what I'm telling you is the recession is real. It ain't no joke out here, folks. It's seriously no joke out here. So everybody is trying to figure out ways to reestablish their audience, to reestablish their viewership, and to make this moolah. Because look, uh, the card game it has been, and now it done creeped into way past an oversaturated market. How much content you're going to do when it comes to car reviews, how much content you can literally do when it comes to modding up the car, how much content you're going to use when you incorporate stories or incorporate life issues surrounding your car. Okay, how many episodes, how many videos you're going to keep popping and cranking out on that car. All right. You know, your most successful popping videos is me buying a Maybach. All right. Me wrapping a Maybach, me modding up my Maybach, and me selling my Maybach. That's it. Okay. Those are going to be your hot topics. Those are going to be the videos that make the most money. Okay. Yeah, you can spin it and have females involved, you know, taking your female on a night out of town, or taking your Maybach here or taking your Maybach there. But that's just content that's just filler type of content. But the four types of video titles to videos are: what the car that you're gonna buy, what type of wrap you're going to put on that car, you're modding that car, and when you're going to sell that car. Okay. And now more than ever, the car content lane is oversaturated itself. Okay. You got everyone talking about selling their cars. You got Cali Muscle talking about, I'm selling these cars because you know, it's causing a strain in his lifestyle or on his health or something like that. And now he sold all his cars to get a Mercedes. And now he's doing a bunch of clickbait saying, I'm going to buy this car, buy that car, but he ain't buying no more cars because look here, the recession is real. Now, a lot of people are going to fake the funk. Everybody's going to fake the funk until they can get a dunk, all right? You know, fake it till you make it. You're going to have a lot of people that's not going to really tell you the truth. Look here. You know, the reason why I'm selling all my cars is because of XYZ. I want to get a better car, this, that, and the third. But let's just be fair. Let's be real. Let's be truthful. Let's be thoughtful. Let's be consistent. The real reason why a lot of people are giving up on the car game, but particularly the car content game, is not, the numbers are not adding up. Okay, the numbers that they was making and the money that they was making a year ago, 2 years ago, isn't the same type of money they're making right now. So why have 5 or 6 cars if none of these cars are making a dime for you? All right, so that's pretty much what's been transpiring. That's pretty much what's been going on now. You know, whoever you want to believe, whoever's your favorite YouTuber that has car content, you want to believe whatever you want to believe with them. But real talk, the real reason why a lot of people are giving up is because it's an oversaturated market, and these cars are not making the same type of numbers and viewership and money that it did last year or 2 years ago. All right, so you got a lot of these guys switching it up, talking about other things, you know, and I'll be honest with you, Mr. Organic's numbers have been falling. Okay, this month alone, okay, his numbers are falling. Now, in the grand scheme of things, over a course of time, it'll slowly creep up to Mr. Organic standards. Okay, but normally when he makes a video, man, I mean, time the day's over with, man. He's probably sitting on 10K or 20K views. All right. But now the numbers are not adding up. I mean, I see there's one video that's still below under 9K. All right. And the King of Downtown, you know, he had an explosion with it when he introduced King of Downtown, when he did a couple of videos. But then after that, the King of Downtown series videos are not at the satisfaction of Mr. Organic. So Mr. Organic is just reaching and trying to figure out, okay, what else people want out there. Okay, that's why he's really into the Top of the Mook podcast, even though Top of the Mook podcast has its own YouTube channel. And I'm a believing him and Slim split that down 50-50. All right. But when you talk about Mr. Organic as an entrepreneur, the numbers he was making last year, he's not even making close to that money this year, because there's a recession and the struggle is real. Okay, you know, a lot of people was talking about, I say about 3 weeks ago, we'll talk about how high gas was. You don't think that's not affecting these guys out here that make car content on a regular, consistent basis? Okay, you don't think that they're not feeling the squeeze at the pump? Okay, so there's a lot of things out there. The car content isn't blowing up like it did last year and 2 years ago. All right. It's just dry out here, man. It's really dry out here. And now you got Cali Muscle, like I feel like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was, talking about maybe getting back into the gaming, streaming, and you see that lane didn't work. Then he wanted to be a motivator. You see how that lane didn't work. Then he went back into the cars as far as selling all his cars. He made a good piece of change on that. But now he knows, okay, look, when you're pigeonholed to doing one thing and one thing only, and that one thing doesn't make you the money it used to make, it doesn't get you the viewers that you used to get, okay? And when you try to reestablish a new lane, you'd be lucky if half of your viewership is watching your videos and watching your content. Cali Muscle has done so much car content, when he does the fitness and going working out and the comic skits, it ain't hit. Okay, definitely ain't hitting above the car content, and the car content is struggling. Okay, when you're pigeonholed into one thing and one thing only, it's hard for your viewership. It's hard for your fans, your diehard fans that ride and die for you. That's going to support you on new content. Okay, that's just the way how it goes. Uh, just the same tone, the same type of the same type of logic with Mr. Organic. Mr. Organic was always embedded into the car content, and the car content is just not hitting. It's just not hitting it. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right. So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This car content game is oversaturated, and people are ready for something else. Okay, how many cars are you going to review? Okay, until people get tired of you reviewing cars. All right, how much content you can cut from reviewing cars? How much content you can cut by buying a car, wrapping the car, modding the car, okay, selling the car, flipping the car for something else? How much more content you're going to constantly get from the car content game? Okay, not that much. And then people get tired of the same old. All right, and you got Cali Muscle, you got Mr. Organic trying to embed other new things around their content, and it just ain't hit. It just ain't hitting like the car content. And then you get pigeonholed, all right? And now you see Cali Muscle trying to do more fitness type videos, healthy type videos, and those numbers are not hitting like it used to hit when he started his channel on the gym workouts and things of that nature. When you embed yourself in one genre, and when that genre is oversaturated and you try to move on into something else, sometimes your fan base cannot let you go, and they pigeonhole you for that type of content until that type of content is no more. Nobody cares for that content, like the reaction videos. Okay, you remember how reaction videos was the hit? It was the lick. Everybody and they Manny had a reaction type of YouTube channel. Notice how the reaction channels are slowly dying. Okay, there's some here and there that still get their numbers, but nevertheless, the reaction channel, that lane isn't hitting like it was 3 years ago. Okay, and that goes for the same for the car content. The car content is just not hitting, and now you got all of these YouTube influencers trying to figure out other things to do other than the car content. All right, but it is what it is. All right. So let's move on to YouTube, man. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're a content provider in these YouTube streets, okay, it's dry out here. It's drier than the Sahara Desert. It's drier than a man eating a rich cracker in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Holy, it's just dry out here. Now, there's a couple of things that contribute to this. Okay, one, it's the summertime. Okay, hey, look. content creators are humans too. They want to go out and they want to go to the beach. They want to hit the clubs. Okay, they want to hit the bars. They want to go out on dates. Okay, YouTube content creators are human too. Okay, when it's summer and when it's hot, everybody don't want to stay in the house. Everybody wants to go outside. Isn't that funny? The hotter it gets, the more people want to go outside. But when it gets cold, it gets colder than people want to all of a sudden stay indoors. That's when you get even more content from the content creators around the fall and the winter time. I just dropped a jewel for you guys. If you are subscribed to your favorite content creator, and if you've been really paying attention to them, and you notice in the springtime and the summertime, they're not uploading a lot of content. It's here and there, it's spot on, spot off, but they're not uploading a lot of content. But when it gets to the fall and when it gets into the wintertime, they uploading content 3-4 times a day. All right. So I'm just telling you people, man, it's dry out here. If you are a subscriber to any of these content providers on YouTube, it is dry out here. Not a lot to talk about. It's not a lot to even it's not even a lot to review or react or anything like that. Even your boy has been suffering. Yeah, what? I have been suffering, okay? Okay, how many more Mr. Organic videos can I possibly do? Not that many, because it's really not that much to talk about Mr. Organic. It's really not that much to talk about Tall Guy Review, okay? Love and Slim, CJ on 32, Rail the Real, okay? It's not a lot to talk about. And on top of that, we're still in a recession, okay? A lot of these content providers are struggling. A lot of these content providers are in struggleville, just like you and I, just like the rest of us out here. Some of us is trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, okay? A lot of these content creators are struggling, all right? And I'm just telling you, it is simply dry out here. It's not too much to talk about, particularly. On top of that, you got an oversaturated market, which is the car content lane. Hey, look here, I'm not one of them lanes that want to find out Mr. Organic's address, his addy, and put his addy on social media. Try to find his house and put his house on blast. And I'm just not that type of guy. I'm not trying to do any investigative reporting on Mr. Organic's money, his economics, or CJ on 32, or whoever. All right, I'm just not into knowing where they live, or how much money they make. I leave that up to Ice Cream Vlogs. He likes to dissect that. That's cool and all. I leave that to 1,000 HP Media. He's on that lane, but to me, I'm just not in that lane. I'm more intrigued with the actual news around a lot of YouTube influencers, a lot of YouTube and insiders. But as far as me getting into their pocket or where they live, that's a huge no for me. I'm just not in that lane. I'm sorry, folks. Sorry, all right? But it is dry than the Sahara Desert out here. So I've been, I was normally cranking videos like each and every day. If I crank like 2, maybe 3 videos a week, I'm good in the hood. All right. I'm good. It's just not a lot of news to talk about. I even went off the grid, so to say, with the YouTuber influencers and talk about what's going on and what's affecting us in news, okay? In entertainment news, okay? Even though the numbers are not as big as when I'm talking about Mr. Organic, or when something goes down with Mr. Organic, or something goes down with Tall Guy Review, those videos, they just light you guys up and you guys watch those videos. But when it comes to just ordinary videos about the news and about like the mystical, the pastor, Pastor Whitehead, that video is mediocre. It's below my expectations. All right. So look, I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm not going to always talk about these guys. I'm going to move out into other things. I tried the Kwame Brown lane. I tried the Damn D Live. I tried the Gravity Takeout, the Sister T. But those numbers don't hit. Plus, I feel like YouTube is blacklisting any association with the word Kwame Brown. Okay, sort of like R. Kelly. If you put R. Kelly in your title, that video is not going to be in the search engine. All right. YouTube is kind of weird that way. All right. And I feel like they did the same thing with Kwame Brown. If you mention Kwame Brown's name, it's not going to be in the search engine. Okay. If you're not subscribed to these brothers, hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, but yeah, in the grand scheme of things, your boy is going to, your boy got a decision to do. What? Yeah, I got a decision. Like the Kwame Brown stuff. I don't mind watching the live streams and the videos, but doing the research and watching these live streams, and then when you edit the video, when you download the video, the titles, and do the research, and you get the video out there, those videos don't hit as well as when I'm talking about Mr. Organic or when I'm talking about Tall Guy Review. So yeah, that's what's going on. All right, so it's been past 30 minutes. I really do appreciate you guys that came by. I'm sorry about the beginning of the live stream. It shut down. It was technical difficulties. I do apologize. It's your boy. I'm also gonna chop these situations. I'm gonna chop these stories and these episodes up into clips as well as videos. So those out there who's not watching this live or watching the re-air of it, definitely, if you got a short attention span, I'm gonna chop them up into videos and I'm gonna have them out next week. Now, I did tell you guys, I did inform you guys that I'm gonna have to do some maneuvering with the podcast. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do these podcasts early Monday morning. I'm looking more forward to Friday afternoons. I feel like Friday afternoon is a good time to do too early for this podcast, even though the name don't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, we're gonna have to move it to another time and another day. So I'm thinking Friday is the place. All right. So every Friday, like around 12 p.m., we're gonna do too early for this podcast, and I'm definitely gonna do this in a better location. And I think that's the reason why I had technical difficulties early. Okay. But guys, it's your boy, the host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm coming to you guys live from coast to coast. If you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this with your friends, family, and followers. It helps out in the algorithm. All right. If you want to support me even further, hit that join membership button. Remember, membership has its privileges. All right. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. I will talk to you guys same bad time, same bad channel on a new time and then on a new channel. I'm up out of here. Deuce. Out.